Hello guys, welcome to IELTS vocabulary course number 5. My name is Louis. So this course will help you improve your vocabulary even if you're not preparing for the test. So you can still watch this course if you're not preparing for the test. Today is very special because we're talking about conditions. So what is that? Well, this is when we want to express something that is conditional or dependent on something else. So sometimes we say something that's dependent on something else, right? For example, you can borrow my car if you fill it up with gas. If borrowing the car is conditional on filling it up with gas. If you do not fill it up with gas, you cannot borrow it. So a lot of times we use the word if in this situation, but we can use other phrases too, which sound more professional and which actually sound a little better. So for example, you can borrow my car provided that you fill it up with gas. So we simply replaced if with provided that, okay? And the second example, students can go home early if they've finished their work. What can we replace if with? On the condition that students can go home early on the condition that they've finished their work. Does that make sense? So these are conditionals. So we're going to look at all of these words or phrases today, providing that, unless, on the condition that, as long as, no matter how, however many, wherever. So let's go right into some examples. First, we're going to look at examples, and then you're going to have to create your own sentences near the end of the video. You got to be creative, okay? I'm also going to give you some tips at the end for how you can practice, because it's very important. Providing that. I should get my assignment finished this weekend if I have enough time. It's perfectly fine to say that, but maybe you want to spice up your vocabulary. Maybe you want to sound more professional. You could say, I should get my assignment finished this weekend, providing that I have enough time. That sounds better. Unless. You can't go to university if you don't get good exam grades at school. You can't go to university unless you get good exam grades at school. Unless is a fairly common. I'm sure you're familiar with this one. So we won't linger. Let's move on. Next one, on the condition that, okay? Students can use the common room in the evening if they tidy up any mess they make. How do we replace if with something else? Do you know? We can say, students can use the common room in the evening on the condition that they tidy up any mess they make. So I guarantee if you use these phrases in your speech, you're going to sound so professional and just so good. As long as pollution will get worse if we continue to live in a throwaway society. Pollution will get worse as long as we continue to live in a throwaway society. Throwaway society is just having a culture where we don't recycle. We put everything in the garbage. We use it once and throw it away. No matter how. Here we usually have no matter how much, no matter how many. We can also have no matter how hard, no matter how soft. You have an adjective too. But here we go. Children will always prefer fast food to fresh fruit and vegetables, even if you tell them how unhealthy it is. Children will always prefer fast food to fresh fruit and vegetables, no matter how much you tell them how unhealthy it is. Could also say, no matter how many times you tell them how unhealthy it is. No matter how much, no matter how many times. Both are good. However many, computer programming is complicated, even if you read a lot of books about it. Computer programming is complicated, however many books you read about it. and wherever. Crime is a problem, even if you live in a small town or in the countryside. Crime is a problem wherever you live. Okay? So these are all phrases which can express condition. Something is dependent on something else. Now it's time for you to create your own sentences, put on your creativity hats, and you should speak, say, or write your own sentence here. British universities will accept students from abroad. That's the beginning of the sentence, okay? You need to finish the sentence. What goes at the end? British universities will accept students from abroad. I'm going to go to the answer. On the condition that they have high grades, providing that they have high grades, as long as they have high grades. These are not the only correct answers. Perhaps you could think of something else. This is just what I thought of. Number 2, working for a large company can be a fulfilling experience. What's the condition? Try to add a condition. I'll go to the answer in 3, 2, 1. Providing that you love your industry. Unless you have a different passion, on the condition that you are well paid. So we have 3 very different examples here. If you have an alternative answer, write it in the comments and I can correct it for you, or I can congratulate you on your creative genius. Number 3, the environmental situation will continue to worsen. Answer in 3, 2, 1. Unless we do something to fix it. As long as we keep polluting, no matter how many times we complain. You can do other answers too. That's the thing. I love this because it allows you to be creative. There's so many different opportunities to finish the sentence. That's great. Number 4, traveling helps you understand more about the world around you. What's the condition? Pause the video. Okay, answer in 3, 2, 1. Providing that you have an open mind wherever you go. Doesn't matter where you go. You could go to Paris, you could go to Spain, doesn't matter. Unless you are closed-minded. So that's a different condition. So you won't understand more about the world if you're closed-minded, unless you are closed-minded. So that's basically it. How can you practice? I would recommend writing all of these phrases and words in a notebook first. I got my notebook here. I have a lot of phrases. I occasionally read it just to memorize them. And then I write a sentence using each phrase. You go a step further, not just writing the phrase, you're creating a sentence. Creativity is crucial. And now, what else can you do? You can get a language exchange app. Do you know any of these apps where you can talk to people around the world in your language that you're learning? And when you're talking to them, you can use these phrases in your messages. See how they respond. Finally, reach out to me for amazing English lessons. I teach private lessons on Zoom, Skype, Hangouts, whatever. Whatever app you use, I use it too. And I would love to help. So if you want private lessons, send me an email. The address is in the description of the video. And support this YouTube channel. Subscribe, comment, like, share. Have a great day. Good luck studying.